Alrighty, folks, you know I'm feeling great on a Tuesday morning because we cashed in on 6 more premium selections on my website yesterday. We had the OKC Thunder, Cincinnati Reds, Minnesota Twins, Washington Nationals, Dallas Stars, and we also hit on a 2-team parlay. And I'll tell you in just a second how you could have accessed all of those winners. But, before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to my Major League Baseball free pick video here today for Tuesday, April 30th, 2024. Happy Tuesday to you. Hopefully you had a great start to your week. And of course, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks right here on YouTube since 2016. Once again, we cashed in on 6 different premium selections on my website yesterday. And the only way you could access all of those winners is to join my full access, all-inclusive Chairman membership. Chairman members get access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you also get access to my Chairman podcast, absolutely free. It's included with your purchase. And with that, folks, we're going to dive into some free content. We're going to start off with that Cardinals-Tigers game. That's game 1 of a doubleheader, 3:40 p.m. East. Detroit's minus $1.20 in game 1. Totals 8.5. Looks like Matt Manning for the Tigers in the first one. Kyle Gibson for St. Louis. Now, Gibson's recorded 2 wins on the season already with a solid 1.19 whip. And as a team, the Cards did get the W in 4 out of their last 6. And they looked good at the plate in those victories. They're taking on a Detroit squad who's having all kinds of problems at the plate themselves. They're a bottom 5 hit-producing team at home. Colt Keith's batting just 161. Javi Baez, 7 points shy of the Mendoza line. And out of 14 ball games at Comerica Park. The Tigers currently have a losing record in those contests. Now, total-wise, Detroit went 8-6 to the under in those home games. Meanwhile, St. Louis is 11-5 to the under when they bat first. Give me St. Louis plus $1 under 8.5 in game 1. Next matchup, Yankees-Orioles, 6:35 East. The Yankees are minus $1.15, totals 9.5. Nestor Cortez for the Bombers, Dean Kramer for Baltimore. And both pitchers coming into today's game with their fair share of struggles. For Baltimore, Kramer's got a losing record and an ERA in the 4s. Meanwhile, Nestor Cortez for New York, he's recorded only 1 win this year and has a losing record himself. And out of the Yankees' last 4 road games, the over cashed in all of those contests except for 1. Meanwhile, the O's on the other side, they are currently 63% to the over at Camden Yards. Give me the over 9.5. Next game, Rockies, Marlins, 6:40 p.m. East. Miami's minus $1.45, totals 8 runs. Sixto Sanchez for the Fish, Ryan Feltner for Colorado. And even though Felty's been pretty much getting felted in poker terms, well, strikeouts are definitely up for the righty. Feltner's fan, 30 batters in just 25-plus innings. And that's, certainly bad news for this Miami lineup, who's one of the worst run-producing teams in the game. The Marlins are in the bottom 3 in runs per contest. And out of 17 games at Lone Depot Park this year, the Marlins took the loss in every single one of those home games except for 2. And, well, if you think Sixto Sanchez is going to keep those guys in it, well, just keep in mind, he comes into today's contest with an ERA in the 7s. And as a team, the Marlins are currently on a 7-game losing streak. They were shut out twice during that stretch. Full fade, baby. Give me Colorado plus 1.5. All right, next matchup, Royals, Blue Jays, 7:07 Eastern, first pitch. Toronto's minus $1.35, total 7.5. Jose Barrios for Toronto, Cole Reagans for Kansas City. Unfortunately, I have no free pick for you for this game. Next matchup, Cubs, Mets, 7:10 Eastern start time. The Mets are minus $1.30, total 7.5. Sean Manaea for New York, Javier Assad for Chicago. And as good as Assad's been, well, the Cubs have been lackluster on the road. They're playing just .500 baseball in their travels, and the Cubs are actually struggling at the dish away from Chicago. They're a bottom 10 hit-producing team on the road. Chris Morel, he's batting just .212. Ian Happ, just .222. And we could see more of the same here with Sean Manaea on the bump for the Mets. He's got an ERA in the low threes, and he averages over a strikeout an inning. And I'll tell you what, this New York pitching staff, they've been brutal to hit against in Flushing, Queens this year. These guys are in the top 3 in the National League in hits allowed per game at home. Now, injury-wise, Suzuki and Bellinger are still out for the Cubs. Chicago went 7-3 to the under in their last 10. Meanwhile, New York saw 3 out of their last 4 at Citi Field stay under the line. Give the Mets minus $1.30, under 7.5. Next game, Giants, Red Sox, 7:10 Eastern start time. San Francisco's minus $1.30, totals 8 runs. Logan Webb for the Giants, Cooper Criswell for Boston. Now, the Red Sox have seen their fair share of overs recently. 3 out of their last 4 at Fenway Park got over the line. Meanwhile, the Sox went 60% to the over in their last 10. Give me the over 8 runs. Next game, Cardinals, Tigers, game 2. And that'll be a 7:10 Eastern first pitch. Detroit's minus $1.15 in game 2. Totals 8.5 runs. Now, I've got no confirmed starters yet for you on either side. Looks like a bullpen game for both clubs, possibly. But I don't expect the Cards to be able to sweep them here today. I do like them in game 1 with Gibson on the mound, but I just don't think their bats are sustainable enough to get the job done twice here today. They're actually averaging under 7.1 hits a game this year. They're in the bottom 3 in the league in that particular category. Give me Detroit minus $1.15 in game 2. Next matchup, Twins, White Sox, 7:40 Eastern start time. Minnesota's minus $1.65, totals 8.5. Simeon Woods Richardson for the Twins, Mike Soroka for Chicago. And Soroka's still having a horrible year. He's got 4 more walks than strikeouts. The righty's currently 0-3 with an ERA close to 7. And even if he does throw well here today, probably not going to get much run support. The White Sox are currently dead last in runs per game. Andrew Vaughn's hitting just $180, Benintendi just $206. And they're going up against Richardson here today, who's looked good in a handful of appearances on the mound. The righty's got an ERA of 2.45, along with a 1.00 whip. And of course, this Minnesota pitching staff, they've been awfully tough to hit against. They're striking out more batters a game than any other team in the league. Now, injury-wise, Royce Lewis is still out for the Twins. Luis Robert inactive for Chicago. 7 out of Chicago's last 10 ball games did get over the number. Meanwhile, Minnesota went 70% to the over in their last 10. Give me Minnesota minus 165, over 8.5. Next ball game, Rays, Brewers, 7:40 Eastern first pitch. Milwaukee's minus $1.75, total 7.5. Freddie Peralta for the Brewers, Tyler Alexander for the Rays. And this is a good matchup. Don't let that price point fool you. Should be a very good game. At least should be competitive. Can't give you a freebie on that one. All right, next matchup, Nationals, Rangers, 8:05 East. Texas is minus 145, totals 8.5. John Gray for the Rangers, Mackenzie Gore for Washington. And even though Gore's had his bright spots, he does still come into today's game with a sloppy 1.38 whip. And these national hitters, they've had a rough time on the road. They're a bottom 10 hit-producing team in their travels. They're going up against John Gray here today, who's got 32 strikeouts in just 24-plus innings. He also has an ERA in the 2s. I'll tell you what, these Ranger sluggers, they've been, these Ranger pitchers, they've been tough to hit against at Globe Life Field. They're allowing under 6.6 hits a game in their own building. Now, injury-wise, Gallo and Thomas are still out for Washington. When it comes to the total, the Nats went 60% to the under in their last 10. Meanwhile, the Rangers went 7-3 to the under in their last 10 themselves. Give me the Rangers -145, under 8.5. All right, next matchup, Guardians-Astros, 8:10 Eastern start time. Houston's -155, totals 9 runs. Hunter Brown for Houston, Carlos Carrasco for Cleveland. And these Cleveland pitchers have been really good on the road this year. They're striking out nearly 11 batters a game in their travels. Meanwhile, at the plate, they are a top 5 run-producing team on the road in the American League. Steven Kwan's hitting .339 and leads the roster in hits. Jose Ramirez has a team-best 24 runs batted in. And they're facing a terrible Hunter Brown, who's 0-4 with an ERA almost in the double digits. And of course, this Houston pitching staff has had their issues at home. They're in the bottom 5 in runs allowed on their own diamond. Give me the Guardians +1.5. Next game, Phillies-Angels, 9:38 East. Philadelphia's -135, totals 9. Spencer Turnbull for the Phillies, Tyler Anderson for Los Angeles. And as good as Anderson's been this season, he does somehow come into today's contest with a losing record on the year. And this Angel lineup of hitters, they've struggled making contact with the baseball. They're striking out nearly double-digit times a game at home. And they unfortunately have to face Spencer Turnbull, who's looked unhittable for much of the season. Turnbull's got a 1.33 ERA along with a .85 whip. And I tell you what, this Phillies pitching staff throws quite well on the road. They allow fewer hits a game away from home than any other staff besides one. Now, the Phillies are 10-4 to the under as the road team. Give me Philadelphia -135, under 9. Next game, Braves-Mariners, 9:40 p.m. East. Atlanta's -130, total 7. Ronaldo Lopez for the Braves, Luis Castillo for Seattle. Now, Castillo's just 2-4 with an ERA in the 4s. And he's going to have to be better than that because this Seattle lineup stinks at the dish. They're dead last in hits per game at home. They're also averaging double-digit strikeouts a game at the plate. And we could see more of the same here today as Ronaldo Lopez currently has an ERA of .72. The righty's got 25 innings of work under his belt and a .88 whip. He's also backed by the best run-producing lineup in baseball. Marcell Ozuna leads the league in RBI, OPS in the thousands. And Ozzy Albies, he's hitting .325. Now, 9 out of the Braves' last 10 ball games did fall under the total. Meanwhile, Seattle's 9-1 to the under in their last 10. Give me the Braves -130, under 7. Next game, Reds-Padres, 9:40 Eastern first pitch. San Diego's -145, total 7.5. Yu Darvish for the Friars, Nick Martinez for Cincinnati. Now, both pitchers allowing their fair share of runs. 3 out of Cincy's last 4 road games got over the total. They're also 7-3 to the over in their last 10 at any location. And out of these teams' last 10 head-to-head gatherings, the over did cash in 60% of those games. So if you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around. Give me the over 7.5. Next matchup, Dodgers, Diamondbacks, 9:40 Eastern start time. The Dodgers are -115, totals 9.5. Landon Knack for the Dodgers, Jordan Montgomery for Arizona. And even though Montgomery's been good, the D-backs just can't put things together. They've got good hitting, they've got good pitching, but for some reason, these guys have taken the loss in 6 out of their last 9. They just can't put things together. They're actually 4 games below 500 at the moment. And they're taking on a Dodger club who plays their best baseball on the road. They're 10-4 as the away team, and they average nearly 11 hits per contest in those road games. Mookie Betts leads the major leagues in batting average and OPS. Shohei Ohtani's got an OPS in the thousands himself. Give me the Dodgers -115. Now with that, folks, we're going to jump into our next and final pick for the video. It's going to be in that Pirates-Athletics game, 9:40 Eastern start time. Pittsburgh's -1.25, totals 8 runs. Mitch Keller for the Buccos. Alex Wood for Oakland. Now, the lefty Wood, he's definitely had a rough go of things in Oakland. He's got an ERA in the 6s along with a 1.98 whip. And out of 14 contests at the Coliseum, the A's have a win percentage of .357. And it should come as no shock. The A's average fewer runs a game at home than any other roster in the league. Shane Langeliers is hitting just .172. Zach Geloff just $1.96. Give me Pittsburgh minus $1.25, under 8. With that, folks, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap. Give me the Cardinals plus $1, under 8.5 in Game 1. I like the over 9.5 in the Yankees-Orioles game. Give me Colorado plus 1.5, getting the job done for some run line cash. I have no free pick available for you in the Royals-Blue Jays game. Give me the Mets minus 130, under 7.5. I like the over 8 in the Giants-Red Sox game. Give me Detroit minus $1.15 in Game 2. Minnesota minus 165, over 8.5. I have no free pick available for you in the Rays-Brewers game. Give me Texas minus 145, under 8.5. I like Cleveland plus 1.5, getting the job done for some run line cash. Philadelphia minus 135, under 9. Braves minus $1.30, under 7. I like the over 7.5 in the Reds-Padres game. Give me the Dodgers minus $1.15, getting the job done for some money line cash. And give me Pittsburgh minus $1.25, under 8. With that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium site. Now, if you do end up getting a membership here today on patreon.com/BrockPage, just a friendly reminder, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. That's why I always tell folks that Chairman Package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. It gives you access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. As an added bonus, you're going to get access to my Chairman podcast absolutely free. It's going to be included with your purchase. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed, all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, folks, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium site at patreon.com/BrockPage.